The two types of sleep apnea. The first one and the most common type of sleep apnea is called obstructive sleep apnea. Now, obstructive means that something is blocking your airway. It's usually related to weight gain. I know most of the guys I've talked to in the transportation system, like driving trucks and so forth, if you are over a certain weight, they make you get a sleep study and get on a CPAP, and even want to check your recordings to make sure that you're using it. So, obstructive sleep apnea is most related to weight gain. I've also I talked to a lady who had a growth in the back of her throat. It was genetic, and it was blocking her airway. And so she actually had that growth taken out, physically removed, surgically removed. And that is what cured her. And actually, there are some more treatments like that, surgical type treatments coming out. Currently, the most common treatment is the CPAP machine. I'll get to that in a sec. So, obstructive sleep apnea, though, is the most common type of sleep apnea because most people struggle with weight gain and issues around that. Number two is what's called central sleep apnea. Central sleep apnea, when you hear that, think about the central nervous system, your brain, all your 10 cranial nerves, your breathing mechanism in your brain. If your breathing center gets damaged, then you have what's called central sleep apnea. Your central nervous system is damaged. It's not breathing correctly. People who have used the drug ecstasy or meth, many of them show central sleep apnea. They're constantly waking up at night. They have headaches in the morning. They're sleepy in the daytime. So these are the two types of sleep apnea: obstructive sleep apnea and central sleep apnea. If you have either of these, then you probably have symptoms like I mentioned: headaches, insomnia, waking up, snoring, all kinds of stuff. And it's to your benefit to get that treated. It's no fun to go through life in pain or suffering from something that is so easily treated. Currently, the way the healthcare system is set up is you talk to your doctor. Your doctor writes you a prescription for a sleep study. You go into a sleep institute in their sleep lab, and they hook you up to some electrodes and some cables, and you sleep in their bed. And they record you sleeping, and they give you some pretty nice measurements afterwards. They tell you what pressure your CPAP machine should be at, how many apneas you're having per hour, how many times you're stopping breathing and waking up. And they also give you a definitive diagnosis for the sleep apnea, whether or not you have it and whether you're more obstructive or more central. With that being said, to go through that, to get a prescription, a lot of people don't have insurance. It costs money to get a CPAP machine. It can cost hundreds, even thousands of dollars. If you want, you can fast track this and just get a CPAP machine and try it out. There is a company out there now that is selling these without a prescription, I think. Also, they already program it with the very best settings that work for most people. So they'll hook you up with a CPAP machine, already has the best settings, no prescription. I think you can even try it out for 60 days, risk-free if you want. So to me, that's the best option, the easiest option, cheapest option. Just get a machine and try it out. The best mask is a full face mask because most people, their mouth drops open at night or their nose plugs up. And I recommend getting a full face mask to start with your CPAP machine. The clinical guidelines recommend getting a nasal mask, but most people can't use it. So the current guidelines actually send up and create obstructions, create obstacles for people. Sending people home with a nasal mask actually puts an obstacle in their way because in the end they find out they can't use it. So anyway, check out ThePerfectCPAP.com and the CPAP machines they have there, the masks, they can have you all set up. I'll put the links and the information down below in the description too. So with that, feel free and comment down below, and I hope this helped you. Take care.